Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you have some awesome summer plans ahead. So today's lesson, we are going to focus on some warm-up routines I like to incorporate into my practice sessions. And before I get into that, I just want to say thank you again so much for the support. Keep on liking my page, keep on commenting, sharing with your friends, subscribing if you haven't already. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much, guys, for the support. So let's move on to the actual lesson. So today's lesson, we're gonna revolve around A minor pentatonic. So I created a little backing track, and what we're gonna be using is the A minor pentatonic scale. So let's go over that, and we'll start it on the fourth string. So if you don't know what the pentatonic scale is, it's the intervals root, flat third, fourth, fifth, flat seventh. So in terms of notes and frets, it would be your A at the fifth fret, C at the eighth, D at the 10th, E at the 12th, G at the 15th, and then A at the 15th again. And if you want to flesh out the entire thing on this string, which let's actually just do that, because I really recommend just to map out all the notes on one string. That way you just get the complete roadmap of what you're working with. So we have the open fourth string, which is your E, your G at the third fret, flat seventh, your A, C, D, E, G, A, and then above that at the 20th fret is your C, and then at your 22nd fret is your D, so flat third and fourth as well. So, and the most basic way to practice that is just to run it straight up and down. So what you want to be able to do, or kind of the first goal I think would be, is to play in quarter notes. One thing I'm being conscious about is my thumb placement. So I like to about every two notes move my thumb. So if I'm starting at the beginning, fourth string open, third fret to the fifth fret. So since I was using that open string as my first note, I had my thumb in position to play that third note. So without moving my thumb, I stretch my wrist out to the fifth fret, and then from there, to get to the next set of notes, I move my thumb so I can play the 8th and 10th without moving, move my thumb again, and so on and so forth. And then the step after that is trying to do different rhythms with that same scale. So 8th notes. Try triplets. Oops, let's try that again. And 16th notes beyond 16th notes, so on and so forth. But with slide, it doesn't really lend itself. I mean, you can play fast notes or fast phrases, but you don't really have to. And I'm thinking kind of like once you get more into that 16th note territory, you're kind of thinking more in bursts anyways. But yeah, so that's one way to practice your scales. But, consequently, it's probably the most, I don't know if boring is the right word, because it's like saying that this way of practicing is better than the other. But in most real-time situations, you're not going to be playing straight up and down. That would get pretty old after a while. So for sake of adding some variation, you can practice these scales in different ways. So the first one that comes to mind for me is just playing it and skipping every other note. Well, I'll show you what I mean, but it's basically, if you've heard the pattern before, it's like the minor pentatonic equivalent of that. So what we're going to be doing is we start with our first note, we skip the next note on the scale, which would be our G, and we play our A. We go back a note in the scale, go up 2 notes in the scale, or that should be C, go back a note in the scale, A, skip 2 notes in the scale, to D, sorry, messing that up. So far you should have, and you just continue that pattern. So slowly it would be, and I would actually try and do that mostly on one pluck if you can. That's the goal. Alright, so that's another way you can practice those scales. That's a lot of fun. So, in context, let's do an 8th notes. So, and like, as far as plucking, I'll try and go as far as I can with the phrase, and then pluck as soon as I hear the note kind of start running out of juice. So once it starts fading too much. So let's try it again. And then you can try different rhythms, triplets again. And don't forget to try this stuff backwards. Alright. And then one last one that I'd like to go over. It's playing in sets of notes. So, and what I mean by that is if I'm starting at the open 4th string, our 5th, let's say I'm moving the scale up in sets of 3s. So I would go 5th, flat 7th root, back a note, back a scale tone, then 3 more notes, back a scale tone, 3 more notes, back a scale tone, 3 more notes, and so on and so forth. So what that would sound like in context. So 8th notes. Backwards. Then triplets. Don't be afraid to try different rhythms than just the standard subdivisions. Like one thing I've been liking to work with is phrases like it's based off the 3 pattern, but just going. And then beyond that, I would try mixing these patterns. See if you can actually create lines just mixing the 2 patterns. So maybe stuff like hold on, let's see. Hold on, let's see. mixed a couple of those patterns there. It took me a second to get warmed up, but I got it. So can have a lot of fun with that, but you want to start small and be able to do that first scale pattern I showed you, and then work your way to the more complicated ones, and then try with different rhythms, variations, and then ultimately try to mix this stuff is really the fun way to go about it. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. So let me know what you think in the comments. Anything else that you would like me to go over in the future. I've been really enjoying making these videos. I've been enjoying the feedback. Glad to hear that's been helpful for those of you that have watched. And again, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, refer this channel to a friend, and I will see you guys next week.